Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And yesterday the patch notes were revealed for the major update which is coming in just a couple of days time here to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Major implications from this one to what the CDL is going to look like going forwards. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, wanted to discuss this that came out from the CDL. Your players for the All-Star weekends, May 22nd through to the 23rd. The votes are in. These are the players. You've got aBeZy here from FaZe, aPaThy, Dashy, Envoy, Huke, Hydra, Insight, Kenny, Methods, Octane, Awakening, Paulx, Shotzzy, Simp, Scraps, and Standy. So pretty interesting, right? Because two, I'm pretty sure the grand finalists from last year, Cellium and Priestahh, not actually competing this year. I think like the grand finalists from last year, or the winner from last year, should at least get a spot guaranteed. So kind of strange. I'm pretty sure this was fan voted. I imagine like Scump decided just not to do it or something, because I imagine he would have been voted in for the OpTic guys. But kind of interesting. I thought, well, interesting to keep your eyes on. Certainly, as Glacier does say, got voted in but will be out of town, so supporting the French phenom Paco. And well, as Cellium says right here, he's not able to compete in it, right? But you'd have thought Simp and aBeZy, if they'd have wanted to, could give up their spot to Cellium to allow him to retain the title. I don't really know, but of course that's coming up in just a few days' time. Pretty entertaining to watch last year, so will happen again. But unfortunately, Cellium won't give the opportunity. It does seem to retain his crown right now. So this is what's happening on May the 20th, slightly earlier. We've got, well, Standoff is returning. Standoff 6 vs 6, new multiplayer map, absolutely phenomenal stuff. It is about time. I've been talking about this for months when I get the opportunity to do so, and well, it's finally coming here to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. However, there was some discussion as to what map exactly it should replace. I voted for Checkmate right here. Most people saying, okay, get rid of Miami. There has also been some discussion though about apparently Miami is brighter given this new update. That's been one of the major complaints from the pros about this map. The fact that, okay, yes, both bomb sites are viable. That's pretty good. Better than Checkmate, certainly. But, yeah, it's kind of dark. It's difficult to see people. But supposedly, new brighter update that actually might mean Miami is much more viable than, well, it already is, I suppose. And maybe Miami stays, maybe Checkmate goes. But at the same time, most teams like Checkmate, or at least they play Checkmate more, which makes me think that the pros might actually vote Miami gone and keep Checkmate in. That's kind of how I see it going, but we'll just have to see how it develops over the coming days. The pros don't have too long to decide what they want to do about Standoff, given that it comes on the 20th, and they've probably got to decide what they want in terms of hardpoint search and destroy and control map sets by, like, the 23rd or something, given that the CDL only starts a few days after then. I imagine the CDL have to take a few days to turn things around and get things figured out for how it gets introduced into league play and all this type of stuff. So, of course, when these new major updates come, there is some significant changes to weapon balancing and some very interesting changes, the direction that they've taken with this, and some pros are kind of mind blown at exactly the decisions that they have decided to make. So a few interesting things. First of all, finally this whole match cancellation thing. You guys might remember, like, last time they did the update, they had this match cancellation thing, and it would just, like, I'm pretty sure it could just cancel almost towards the end of the game. There was some pretty significant bug with it, but supposedly if players disconnect before the start of the match or just as the match is beginning, then the game will be cancelled and remaining players will not lose any ladder points. I wonder how shortly after the match starts this is. Like, can you run off spawn, get absolutely bodied by a guy, and then be like, alright, I'm out, and no, I'm just taking the L on this one, or whatever the case may be. I'm not really sure, but I have to see, I guess, how that develops over the coming days. So pretty cool stuff. Now, this is one of the major things regarding the snipers. It's been a discussion this entire season. Are the snipers ever going to come into competitive play? And the whole discussion has been, okay, yeah, snipers are just too good. They're way too easy to use. They aim down sights too quickly. They don't flinch at all, and therefore we can't use them in competitive. Now, smokes has also been a discussion. The fact that, okay, if you've got snipers, maybe you also need smokes to try and counter that. And smokes still kind of broken, so I don't reckon we'll see those in competitive. However, there's been a lot of discussion the fact that snipers, with this new tuning update, got significantly worse. A lot of complaints from the sniping scene about this I've seen over the last 12 hours or so. And maybe, yeah, the developers will just decide to revert this to some degree. But, okay, they've added some flinch. Sniper-specific flinch that moves the weapon aim while being hit. This flinch is more pronounced in ADS. And this was one of the main things, okay, people were saying, okay, we need flinch to some degree. There's also some other changes as well with regard to the ADS momentum. Apparently this might be even like a more significant thing, the fact that you aim down sight super slow with it right now. So a lot to say on snipers. Is this enough for them to be brought back? I kind of am doubtful in a way, just because we're like 3 stages in at this point. I imagine a lot of the teams just want to kind of keep it as it is. And at the same time, I think the snipers coming back would be pretty good from a viewer perspective. It would certainly be good for some teams over others if they were to be ungentleman's agreemented. Of course, a guy like Dashy, I'm sure, would love to have sniper rifles back. But also the FFAR, maybe back in business in a, well, great effect, as we will look at in a second. So maybe Dashy's a pretty happy camper, regardless of the situation. And well, as Crimsix says in reply to Sprout, of course, is talking about, okay, slower movement, slower ADS speed, more flinch, and maybe a rest in peace for the snipers right now. And there was the discussion we talked about right at the start of the title already when Crimsix was complaining about the fact that the snipers were so good. He did it, he said he would, and he actually got them nerfed. The entire sniping community of my mentions. I'm just kidding, I didn't do a damn thing. Seriously, ... says Crim, certainly. Is that enough to get the snipers back in the game? I would hope it is, but maybe that's not going to be the case given we're quite a way through the season at this point, and maybe it's not enough, and maybe the pros will say, okay, yeah, we still need smokes or something, it's just not going to happen. However, there were some significant other changes as well. These were the major ones to the assault rifles. Some other kind of small deal things and on some other categories, but the bullet velocity is a major deal in this game. Bullet velocity is actually like a really important statistic in this game, because, I mean, of course, we've gone to this whole battle royale type stuff where their bullets are now projectiles rather than hit scans, and therefore bullet velocity is a pretty important factor, getting to your target quicker than you did before. And the AK-47 especially, we know how good the AK is, right? It's been GA'd for months. This got a massive increase in its bullet velocity. If this was used right now, it'd probably be the most OP gun like in Call of Duty history. But okay, the Krig may still be up for grabs, because the Krig has an increase in bullet velocity, 625 to 686 or whatever, and also an increase in bullet velocity bonus from the Ranger barrel and the Contour barrel. So okay, so both, well, the Krig has effectively been buffed to some degree across the board, as have most of the assault rifles. Now the FFAR is the interesting one, because the FFAR is the only AR not to have a bullet velocity buff. In fact, it got a bullet velocity nerf, but its increased maximum damage has gone to 28 as opposed to 27. Now this means that if you have one headshot mixed in with the rest of your fire, you'll actually kill in one less bullet, which is a massive impact. And a lot of the pros have been saying, okay, the FFAR is now back in force, and well, I think the SMG players are feeling somewhat sorry for themselves, getting absolutely bodied again and again and again by these players as well. Simp says there's no way the Krig just straight up got buffed, and a lot of the pros are mind blown about this. Envoy goes as well, another Krig buff, somebody is smoking something, the 74U not really getting touched at all, the Krig getting even better than it already was, and you've also got to think that going to a LAN environment, typically it's the assault rifles that are actually better. The playstyle is tend to be favoured for LAN players, or, you know, LAN in general, you tend to play a little bit slower. The ARs get even better. I mean, 60 Hz, we said they got better on the LAN environment as well. They could get even better. Traditionally, that's kind of what pros tend to suggest, tends to get better on LAN. So maybe the Krig gets way better than it already was, and as Octane goes, I can't believe I'm the only one saying this, but what in the hell, baby? Of course, as a Krig player himself, he's probably not too gutted, but look, all these buffs across the board for the Krig 6, not exactly a massive, well, not exactly something I was expecting. I think we saw a tweet from Marky B as well, because a couple of weeks ago he was like, buff the Krig as a joke, and then he came out saying, look, I was just kidding, lads, I didn't actually mean to go ahead and do the thing. So yeah, maybe the Krig gets even better, maybe we see like a load of them on the map right now. As Temp goes, though, Krig buff might be the best thing in COD history at the present time. However, it's, well, not necessarily just the Krig that has got significantly better. As Bance goes, definitely a 74U player living in a Krig's world, but just a couple of hours later, some of the pros are figuring out that maybe there's some other guns that are viable now, not just this Krig getting significantly better, because as Parasite says, one headshot with the FFAR makes it kill in one less bullet now. Oh my god. So the bullet velocity gets decreased to some degree, but the extra one bullet of damage means that just one headshot thrown in there will actually make it kill in one less bullet. This was the thing right at the start of the game with the Krig. If you guys remember, when it was a 4-shot kill if you just had one headshot, then they made it so it was only a 4-shot kill if you had 2 headshots mixed in, which is pretty challenging. But the FFAR, getting one headshot with it if you're a pro player is pretty achievable. You know, aim for the head, especially ripping people off head glitches and stuff. This could make some significant degree of impact, especially given the fact that it obviously fires very quickly indeed, and it got somewhat better in a recent buff as well. So the FFAR was pulled out pretty much by Dashy in the match against the Los Angeles Thieves that we saw a couple of weeks ago, but apart from that, hasn't really seen too much use. Going into stage 4, it may be back in force in greater effect. As Dashy goes, FFAR is gross now, absolutely like that one indeed. As Decimate goes as well, is actually the best card of the game right now, in even with the Krig getting that significant buff. And well, as Parasite says, also the Ram 7 is back, aka the FFAR. The Ram 7 was the weapon that Parasite was using in the Challenger scene last year to great effect, and effectively it got gentleman's agreement just because of Parasite using it in that region. And well, maybe the FFAR will go down a similar route if it continues to be very strong indeed. This is a clip from Cruz right here. FFAR is back, absolutely beaming this kind of a head glitch with throwing in a headshot and then just completely rinsing this guy. So very impressive stuff. I don't know what will happen here with the meta. I mean, I imagine the 74U will still be used, like 2 of them on certain maps. You tend to see that even if the SMGs are relatively bad compared to the ARs, you just need that level of pace on the map to the point where probably we'll still see 2 74Us. And let's not get me wrong, like the 74U is still very good indeed, but the AR seem to have got even better with this latest update. And as Kevin Skill says, Call of Duty Pro Team started back after the Krig buff, especially in a LAN environment. We may be seeing a lot of Krigs on certain maps, but I imagine we'll still see a relatively well-balanced meta. Maybe I'll be proven wrong in time. And well, also as Parasite says, I just wanted to mention a couple of more things about this patch. There were some movement changes also. Slide cancel is apparently instant again, so I'm not exactly sure who this benefit to this cost, but there was the discussion, you guys were letting me know exactly what the sprint glitch was. You guys were saying in the comment section yesterday, so thanks very much for, letting me know about that one, and something I think the pros have been starting to do relatively recently, but some pros, of course, are pretty good at this whole movement stuff. The FaZe guys, of course, Shotzzy, for example, on Dallas, and the slide cancel being instant again is, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, because the pros were discussing when this initially happened. Some pros were pretty happy about the fact that the slide cancel got reverted. Some people weren't very happy, and now apparently it's back to as it was before, so maybe even better for some of these more cracked out SMG players. I guess that maybe that's something of a counter to the fact that the ARs have got significantly better. And also some other movement changes. You guys might have noticed since the last patch update that we had that you can crouch up and down incredibly quickly, and now they've changed that to some degree. So addressed an issue that would cause the camera transition from slide to stand to be delayed, increase the time it takes to crouch by 20 milliseconds. Not sure how much of a big deal this is, so maybe it'll make the movement feel slightly more sluggish. And just this final thing as well, over Raid, Search and Destroy, they've now changed the bomb site letters on this map. I thought some of the comments on Reddit on this were pretty funny, because they're like, okay, oh my god, finally, this game is finally playable again. I just love this game now. This is absolutely the change that we needed to see to take this game to a tier 1 Call of Duty. But I guess it was kind of strange the fact that back in Black Ops 2, the A bomb site was over at the pool side, the B bomb site was over at the ring side, as it is right now, or at least it has been for the last since the map got added into the game. But the control points obviously were the other way around, right? A was on the ring side, and then B was on the pool side. So they've changed that Search and Destroy. They haven't changed control, they've changed the Search and Destroy. So A is now on the ring side, and on the B is on the pool side, as you guys might expect. So not really too much of a difference, but if you're calling out I'm going B, might have to make those call outs a little bit more carefully considered in league play for a couple of weeks before you kind of get the hang of things. But intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think is going to change with the meta going forward? Is the FFAR going to come back? Are we going to get snipers back? Is the Krig going to be way too overpowered? Certainly some big questions to be answered over the coming days. But intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube because I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.